Welcome to O People of the Book YouTube channel.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله.
Oh, people of the Book YouTube channel.
نبرات شعري سطرت لمداد حبري والقلم نبرات شعري سطرت لمداد حبري والقلم نبرات شعري سطرت لمداد حبري والقلم هيا قصائد سائلي قلب النوى ليس الشبم هيا قصائد سائلي قلب النوى ليس الشبم
Bismillah, alhamdulillah, salatu wassalamu ala rasulullah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How's everyone? I hope everyone's okay. For me, the weekend is finished, came over, back to work. I had a week off because I had exams, and exams went okay, not that bad, but I could have done better. So with your du'as, inshallah, I hope I can go through the finals. As usual, right, 1 second. Yeah. So, yeah, as usual, the usual Saturday Saturday show. For you, it may be Saturday's over, so you're entering into Saturday. For us here, time is we're finishing the weekend. Anyway, the usual from monogamy to polygamy to polygyny book that we're doing, and I'd like to remind you that we're not pushing polygyny into down anybody's throat. We're just basically like the people who need to know about it. There's a big misconception about this, and a lot of people need to know about what's going on, and so this is the reason why I've taken upon myself to kind of help my brothers and sisters and try and kind of explain to my brothers and sisters what I know, what I've studied, and what I've learned, kind of thing. So anyway, I'm just a student of knowledge, and whatever I know, I try and help my brothers and sisters. So anyway, we're going through the book, which is From Monogamy to Polygyny, written by a group of sisters. So it's not written by a man who's pushing polygyny onto sisters or whatever. It's actually a book written by sisters, a way through their experiences, and it gives mainly experiences of sisters here. One. Secondly, the other thing about this book is it gives the experiences. It gives cases, two cases of two sisters who are in polygyny, who were first wives, and who actually, one reached out to others for help, and the other kind of decided to bear it on herself. So there's a lot of interaction going on. That's one thing. The other thing is that there's a lot of reminding of turning back to Allah. Yeah, so this is one thing. This book is not just about polygyny. It's not just about what you need to know about polygyny or whatever. It's also a lot to do with them turning to Allah. Yeah. and because they remind one another in the emails, in the letters that they're sending to one another, they're sending emails and reminding one another to trust in Allah and everything. So, like I said, it's not just about polygyny. At the same time, we're working on our iman, where we're learning something new as well. So yeah, so for those of you who are new to you might have a conversation that might just start up between people, non-Muslims even. Oh, you Muslims, you all have 4 wives. No, we don't. It's not something that all of us do. Something that, like, certain particular Muslims can, and also when they do, there's certain rules we have to abide by. And this is why I'm trying to kind of help my brothers and sisters to kind of read the book and see what we can go through. Anyway, last week we left on page 232. Okay, we're coming close to the end of this book now, so maybe a lot of you have learned a lot from it. I have as well, and if you have felt like it's been dragging a lot, it's because these are how lessons are. Yeah, these are classes, and these are classes are. It does drag a lot. Anyway, we're on page 232. Then there's the issue of self-esteem that causes the "he won't love me the same, he'll love her more" issue. There's something very, very common in polygyny, where the sister thinks that he'll love her more. Yeah. So yeah. So the sister thinks that he'll love her more, kind of thing. So anyway, so she has to bear in mind that, this is not the way it is. I mean, a man has to be equal. He has to show love to both of them. So you'll find that, a lot of times this happens. A lot of times the sisters, they kind of go through this, and it's something that goes through their minds. Yeah. So anyway, yeah. So let's carry on. Sadly, that's something that a lot of women lack: learning to be confident with ourselves, and the relationship with our husbands will strengthen our relationship greatly and give us personal contentment, inshallah. I just had a message from somebody. It makes you really kind of laugh when you, what's that? We're doing a show to educate our people, Muslim, not anything to do with non-Muslims. Yeah, and you get some sod comes in and says Jesus is God. So what if you care that Jesus is God? I don't care about what you think. I'm doing a show here to educate my brothers and sisters, and those who need help. They're entering into maybe polygynous situation, or maybe there's a conversation going on. Maybe there's some sort of discussion going on, and they can take part in that discussion. And what does the silly sod do? Jesus is God. So what? I don't care. I don't care if you think that Jesus is God. I'm teaching my brothers and sisters about the issue of polygyny. You see some of the people's minds. I really don't understand. You get people who come into Muslim websites and put pornography and stuff like that. While people are being taught. I didn't mention you. I didn't mention your God or whatever. I didn't mention anything. So why is it that they have that mentality, right? They have that mentality to come into Muslim sites and Muslim YouTube and say Jesus is God. I didn't ask you if Jesus is God, So anyway, I'm just saying that this type of mentality. This is for my Muslim brothers and sisters, yeah. And I hope you benefit from it. I just saw that funny in my comments when I looked at the private comments. I didn't even send the link out, so I don't know how he's got how he managed to get the comments, it was in the actual comments itself, not in the private chat. But anyway, whoever it is, he says, Jesus is God. As if I asked the question, is Jesus God? Anyway, sorry. Sadly, that some things that a lot of women lack, learning to be confident in ourselves and our relationship with our husbands, will strengthen our relationship greatly and give us personal contentment, inshallah. We all have jealousy for our husbands, and lots of it too. But as much as we love our husbands, we cannot allow that to deter us from practicing our deen as best as we can. And personally, I can be as jealous as I want to be, but never want to hear myself saying some things I have heard sisters saying before. Now the thing is about we went through the book from the beginning, and the book taught about how to tackle jealousy and everything, like, so it's not something new, like, that we are having to go through. It's actually something, like, that we've been through before. Yeah, but there is jealousy, and nobody can stop a sister from being jealous. This is her nature, and nobody can stop her from being jealous. Don't blame this on a disease of the heart or weakness. Just perform dua. Turn to Allah with your concerns. Allah is the best to help. See, I mentioned earlier on that this is not just about polygyny. This is not just about having more than one wife, or, like, how the wife is going to act and everything. It's an issue of turning to Allah, reminding ourselves that only Allah can help. Okay, the next subchapter here, a test of polygyny. Okay, Allah says in the Quran, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, and we will sure test you with things of fear, hunger, and loss of wealth, and lives, and fruits. But give glad tidings to the patient, who, when the disaster strikes them, they say, indeed, we belong to Allah, and indeed to Him we will return. Those are the ones upon whom are blessings from their Lord and mercy. This is and yeah, sorry, and it is those who are the righteously guided. This is from Surah Al-Baqarah, chapter 155 to 157. Allah says, Allah is the most fair. Allah is the most fair and just in having laid out for us what we should expect and need to do in our religion. Allah knows all our circumstances. Still, Allah tests us. Very interesting, yeah? Allah knows our circumstances, yet He tests us. Why? Why would Allah test us? Allah would test us only if He loves us. Only if He loves us, and that's why He will test us, to make sure we pass the test. Certain conditions have to exist so that the examination can be conducted to see what changes or thoughts will occur, and what feelings will exhibit themselves. If our husbands marry suddenly, it would be likened to a surprise exam. Okay, suddenly your husband takes another wife. It will be for you as if you've entered in a surprise exam. You enter into an office, or you enter into someone that tell you got an exam to take now. Okay, and you have to pass that exam. So obviously, like, you will have to be prepared for it. Yeah. So anyway, let's carry on. In theory, if we've studied and worked on preparing ourselves for the possibility, then inshallah we should pass our test. This is what I'm saying. This course is like preparing for it. Whether you're entering into polygyny, whether you're having a discussion about it, whether you have friends who are in there and maybe having some issues or whatever, and you want to kind of, like, intercede in between them. Yeah. So you're entering into an exam. Yeah. And whether you're prepared for it, this is the thing. Allah has created us to be able to handle either monogamy or polygyny, as long as we practice everything that Allah commanded. Now, everything, Allah owns everything. Allah owns everything, and not even a leaf falls off a tree without Allah knowing it. We know that, yeah. We keep having to remind ourselves. And Allah has created monogamy, and He's created polygyny as well. One thing that some people don't understand, they think that Allah has created monogamy alone, and man kind of like, somewhere or another manipulated and created polygyny so that he can take another wife and this type. No, both come from Allah, and both are mentioned in the Quran as well. It's mentioned in the Quran that Allah makes it clear that if you cannot do justice, then take only one. Okay, but it starts from 2, 3, or 4. It tells you clearly. Okay, so both of them are in there. Okay, so both of them is a command of Allah. For the woman who would like to be at peace with polygyny but aren't, I think that's a test. How hard they struggle to judge by the Quran, or how they will ask Allah for help. How much they will ask Allah for help. How much they will repent for their wrong thinking. This issue about there's some men who they decide to get them another wife, and they just raise the conversation with their wives. They don't actually do it. They just raise the conversation, and just by raising the conversation, all hell breaks loose. Right? All hell breaks loose at home. So just by talking about it or thinking about it, the wife might ask, what you're thinking about, or she might have overheard brothers speaking or whatever kind of thing, and all hell breaks loose. So you would have to repent for that. You have to repent for this feeling of all hell breaking loose. Will they allow their struggles to turn them away from Islam? Now, I have known people who I've spoken to who were reverts, who are not 100% practicing, but because of the fact of polygyny, they've turned away from Islam and don't want to know about it. There are even practicing sisters who were fully practicing, who were born Muslims, and the issue of polygyny made them turn away from Islam. So, these struggles, these are tests from Allah, and we have to make sure that we handle these tests, even from the man's side. If a man cannot handle it, the verse is clear. Take 2, 3, or 4, okay? But if you cannot be just, the verse says, if you cannot be just, then stick to one. So that man will have to answer in front of Allah if he cannot be just. Okay, for the women who would like to be at peace, okay, I've read that. May Allah help, strengthen, and give more knowledge and understanding and wisdom to the believers. Now, this is what I'm trying to do here. Yeah, me, who student of knowledge, finishing my bachelor's in Islamic studies, and I've got some. I've been reading a lot of books and learning the knowledge and everything. So I'm helping to strengthen and give more knowledge and understanding and wisdom to the believers. This is what the dua that this sister is making, and this is me as a student of knowledge helping my brothers and sisters. This is my responsibility, because on the day of Yawm al-Qiyamah, Allah will question me. Allah will ask me, you had knowledge, what did you do with your knowledge? Did you share your knowledge with your brothers and sisters? Sisters were getting divorced. Sisters were becoming widows. Today, brothers don't want to marry widows, don't want to marry their divorcees. They just want young girls and everything. So there's a lot to learn, a lot of understanding that needs to be received here. It then becomes important to enter our marriages at peace, with the understanding that we may end up as one of 4 wives. Now, that's another thing as well. A woman, when she's in Islam, Allah tells you to enter Islam kafa. Okay, enter Islam fully. The verse says kafir, enter Islam fully. When you enter Islam fully, then you are expected to expect that your husband somewhere along the line will either want to marry another sister, or situations will happen where you know you might end up falling in a situation that might make your husband take another sister, or whatever. So a woman, when she enters into a marriage, a man as well, you know should expect that. And this is why I would not advise a woman to put that in her marriage certificate, because that man is bound to that now. He's bound to that marriage certificate, that he cannot break it, whatever happens. Whatever happens, unless and until maybe they agree on it, or whatever, that he breaks it. He will never be able to break it, because according to Islam, you have to fulfill. You have to honor your contract. You have to honor your what's the name? Your aqd that you made. So that's why I would advise sisters not to put it in there, because Allah is the one who makes all things happen, and we don't know what test Allah will give you, like this test now. Yeah, you don't know what test Allah will give you that will make you fall in that situation. Okay, we should prepare ourselves as much as we can to hear from our husband that he's taken another wife. Now, like I say to you, although men shouldn't be talking about women all the time, yeah. One of the adab, one of the etiquettes is not to talk about vain talk, not to talk vain things. But if a man has the intention, a good intention, of taking another wife, then he will be talking to his friends all the time about it. Now, you shouldn't be surprised. You should prepare yourself for that, because knowing the psychology of men, that a man, one day or another, if he gets the opportunity, if he finds that he's got the money, if he finds that he's he can lead, he will do it. So as a sister, you should be kind of ready for it. Seeing that, okay, yeah. So anyway, yeah, the reality is that we can't own another human being. I think I've reminded sisters about that several times, that your husband, you cannot own him. He belongs to Allah, and one day he will have to return to Allah. You would prefer to love Allah more, love the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam more, than to think that you own your husband, who you don't. Anytime Allah can take him away from you, and Allah taking him away from you, you might end up now being in that situation that you never liked in your life, you hated in your life, never wanted your husband to get into it. Now you become a widow, or you become a divorcee, and the person who's prepared to marry you may be married already. You see, so you have to think of that. Okay. Excessive love for humans should be transferred into love for doing good deeds. Instead of negative reactions to polygyny, I feel that our duty is to Allah to exhibit emotions such as these. And there's like a table here: submission, acceptance, compassion, love, trust, patience, strength, faith, peace, kindness, prayer, fear of Allah, humility, repentance, piety, charity, and loyalty. Okay, this is like It's been created like a set of stairs, and the sister mentions about it. What is important in passing the test is calling on Allah by His names. Now, when you make dua to Allah, yeah, if you can try and learn the names of Allah, learn the names of Allah. So when you do make dua to Allah, you call Him by His names and attributes. Yeah? Some that I like for such needs are al-nafi', the one who lets everything turn out all right. Al-barr, the source of goodness. Al-mu'iz, yeah, the honorer. As-Salam, the source of peace, Al-Wali, the protecting friend, and Allah Al-Mujib, the one who answers prayers. Now, what I usually do, which is very good, I kind of applaud these brothers. You got some channels where on TikTok, yeah, you have like they have the 99 names of Allah, reciting the 99 names of Allah, and it's very good because you can learn the 99 names of Allah through that. Yeah. So when I wake up in the morning, sometimes I'm going through my phone and I kind of select the ones with the 99 names of Allah in there and just let it run. Whatever I'm doing, like I wake up, by the time I get out of bed, so I've already picked up a few now. And I take my phone with me into the kitchen and make a cup of coffee when I'm not working, that is, yeah, make a cup of coffee or whatever. Otherwise, at work, I leave it on my table and let them recite it, and you pick it up. So when you're in need of Allah, the best thing to do is to call Allah by His names and attributes. To call Allah by his 99, well, not 99, but 100 great names. And even the Prophet ﷺ tells us that, to call Allah by His names. True freedom lies in acceptance of Allah's wisdom, and that polygyny is wise. I believe that we Muslim women have a responsibility to accept polygyny in the deepest recesses of our hearts, minds, and souls. The beauty and pure, magnificent awesomeness of paradise is worth women being tested in this way. Now, it's not me telling you this, sister, yeah? It is the sisters who's written the book. This is sisters themselves who are in polygyny themselves. So I'm not kind of forcing you, I'm not pushing it down your throat or whatever, I'm just reading what these sisters are saying, and at the same time I'm giving you advice on what the Quran says, what the hadiths say, and also what the ulama have said about polygyny. Oh Allah, bless the believing women to be strong in polygyny, strong in polygyny. Okay, this is what the sister is saying here. Okay, next subchapter is, sorry, I keep leaning to one side because of my mic. I mean, I shouldn't do. I mean, no, it can hear me from here, but it's a habit anyway. Enough is enough. It's called Enough is Enough. Inshallah, this reaches everyone in high iman and in good health. I have a bone to pick with myself and the Muslims of this ummah. This is the sister saying, yeah, not me. I ain't got a bone to pick with anyone or whatever. I may be so completely wrong about all this, but I must say it and get it off my shoulder. Bear with me. Indeed, I am beginning to feel as if we Muslim women discount on ourselves in this issue, that we do a lot to help put ourselves down. Why is it that we are so darn concerned with what they do and what they say and what rights they take, and on and on and on, when we as Muslim women go on to say enough is enough? Okay, this is the sister saying now. When we Muslim women say enough is enough, I personally won't be a welcome mat for emotional baggage. I won't stand around and wait for him to do what he wants to do. Scream and yell when he does. When do we stay? You know what? I'm me. I'm a separate individual, and I want to have to cry, scream, and yell. When do we stand our ground on our rights at the same time as theirs? Okay, this is a sister now asking questions or whatever, and when do we stop all these nitpicking and yelling about something that he wants to do? Where's our strength? You must remember that the man is the leader. Okay, he is the husband. Allah has given him a notch higher. He is the leader, and not because of that that the man has to throw his weight around or whatever, but because of that, then there are certain things that he wants to do that a woman shouldn't have to stop him when you know. She doesn't have the right to stop him. She can say things, she can voice her miscontent or whatever, but she doesn't have the right to stop him, kind of thing. Where's our strength? Where's our individuality? Where is our ability to continue happily? We control our emotions, or are we so caught up? So she's written it long there, yeah. So I dragged on it, that we can't even see that anyone. We can't see that anyone anymore. Don't we have a choice in how we choose to think about things? I think she's thinking aloud here, right? She's thinking aloud and getting it off her back. I think that's what she said above, that she wants to get something off her shoulders. Well, I'm sick of. I love and adore my husband. I want a fruitful, full marriage anyway. But when do I say enough? I won't be depressed anymore. I won't act like a crazy woman anymore. Enough. I have my free will, and I opt to use it, and the whole person become a whole person within myself. I don't need my husband to validate my worth. This is advice I think many sisters have given. Yeah, you don't need your husband to validate your worth. You already have worth in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yeah. So why would you now need your husband to validate you? Okay. I am a Muslim. Allah has done already that. When is Allah's love more than enough for me? Why don't I cry when I commit a sin? That's interesting. But I cry. Interesting. Listen to this. Why don't I cry when I commit a sin? But I cry when he says he wants another wife. Yeah. Isn't that backwards? When do I put my foot down and go with the flow of Islam? When do I stop all this hemming and hawing over something halal? Goodness, am I that weak? Okay. Now, something halal. This is the thing we have to remember. It's halal. Why make so much fuss? Why going to so much of a hue and cry over the issue of of something that is halal? Okay, so yeah, so let's carry on. Yes, I want him to love me. Yes, I want him to say nice things to me. Yes, I want his children. Yes, I want his attention. Yes, I want his compassion, his understanding. Yes, yes, yes. But sheesh, where is my strength to stand up and say, I make my marriage between you and me, and not you and me and her and her and her? See? So this is, I think she's trying to say, stop concentrating on the other marriage and try and work on your marriage. Work on what you have. You have the marriage now. Work on it. Okay? Where is it? And he is so perfect that I sacrifice my dignity, my ticket to Jannah. I keep mentioning that to sisters, yeah. That is a ticket to Jannah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has offered you that, your ticket to Jannah. And the men would have more of a hard time. The men will have more of explaining to do, you know. And, if the sister knows how to contain herself, then fine. Okay, we're on the 35 mark. We're on the 35-hour mark, and I'd like to remind you that you're watching our People of the Book, and we're broadcasting also on Consider This TV network, where we have a lot of other brothers as well. C.L. Edwards, who's Abu Zaid. He had something yesterday. I was just checking. Also, brother Abu Shaib from Coventry. Cov FF is his channel, Coventry FF, Coventry Faith Foundation. Check him out as well. He's got some very interesting issues as well, some very interesting programs as well. There's there's the Muslim apologist, who's in Malaysia. Yeah, so go to that channel and give us all a like, give us all a subscribe, like, and share. And on my channel as well, give me a like and share. I've been asking for a while now if we can top up to 500. We've reached 462. 462, right? It's not a lot to get to 500. So mention to your friends as well. On the Fridays I've got the tafsir class. Maybe you can mention to your friends that there's a tafsir class going on such and such channel or whatever, and you can bring your friends along. I don't do this for numbers. I don't do this to get likes or whatever. But it's good to have people that follow you. Even if there was only one person, I wouldn't mind about that. If there was only one person watching or whatever. So anyway, for me, it's not for numbers. I do this for Allah. Okay, and I do this at the same time to remind me a lot of things in that's been spoken here about Allah, about returning to Allah, about tahajjud, about all this. This is reminding myself. Yes, a lot of it I'm reminding myself of my weaknesses. So I can't say that I can't say that I'm. Where is this? Yeah, I can't say that I'm not benefiting from this as well. I too am benefiting from this because of the fact that there's a lot of reminders in there, a lot of reminders to turn to Allah and everything. So obviously I'm benefiting from it as well. Anyway, so now let's carry on. The sister says, I can do this, inshallah, and I can do it well. Allah alam. You know why? Because I am going to trust in my Rabb, that he would not allow something that is harmful to me, that there is benefit, the likes of that which I don't know. And when do I think that Allah might be angry and upset with me because I have spent so much time and energy crying over this, and I haven't even expended half of many tears over my sins. See, this is a very interesting. Nowadays, we tend to kind of cry less in front of Allah. I'm reminding myself as well that we tend to cry less in front of Allah. Yet we commit more sins, but we cry less. We need to cry more in front of Allah. We need to cry more over the sins that we commit. And, maybe then things will change. Okay. Where am I? Okay, shouldn't it hurt more to realize that my husband would sell me for a way into Jannah if he could? At least now he still shows me love and cares and takes care of me. I didn't get that bit there. Shouldn't it hurt me more to realize that my husband will sell me for a way into Jannah if he could? I mean, maybe she's talking here about her husband with Allah will for his path to Jannah. Maybe because Allah mentions in the Quran that we will sell we will sell the dunya for the akhirah. Maybe that's what she means. At least now he still shows me love. He cares and takes care of me. That's something very important. If we're in a marriage, whether it's one marriage, two marriages, three marriages, four marriages, whatever, we still have to take care. We still have to show the sister that we love her. When do I get out of the dark dunya and this kuffar crap, and dump it in the garbage? I love my religion. Part of this religion is polygyny. So this sister now, she's repeating many things, a lot of times, and she's okay. Let me see what. Okay, well, anyway, yeah. So one thing I keep having to remind the brothers and sisters that polygyny is part of Islam. Okay, a lot of people don't like to talk about the subject. A lot of people find it like taboo. A lot of people find it like only the man is the one. The sisters think that only the man is the one who benefits from it, whereas we know that polygyny was made permissible because of the benefits of the sisters. Yet, they don't realize it is part of our religion. Yeah, our prophet was polygynous. All the Sahaba. I keep mentioning the amount of wives that Ali ibn Abi Talib radiallahu anhu had. After the death of Fatima radiallahu anha, obviously he didn't take another wife for while she was with her, and we probably, if we've read the seerah, we'll probably know the reason. He wanted to take another wife. He wanted to marry what's her name? Abu Jahl's daughter. I can't remember her name now, but he wanted to marry Abu Jahl's daughter. Now, the reason why the Prophet ﷺ didn't accept and Fatima radiallahu anha didn't accept, can you pair Abu Jahl's daughter with the Prophet ﷺ's daughter? You cannot. So you cannot put them together side by side. That was the reason why Fatima radiallahu anha did not accept. It's not that polygyny was not acceptable or whatever, and the Prophet ﷺ didn't want Ali ibn Abi Talib to marry to perform polygyny while he did. That's not the reason. It's the person who he decided to marry, the daughter of Abu Jahl. That's why it didn't happen. But after the death of Fatima radiallahu anha, he had 14 wives. I think I mentioned that last week and the week before. 14 wives, not all at one time. Of course, is not allowed that. But maybe he divorced others and others died or whatever. Remember, he lived a long life, so he had plenty of time to have many wives. So polygyny is part of our religion, and there's nothing we can do about it. Yeah, making it taboo doesn't change it. Making it taboo doesn't kind of erase it from the religion. Making it taboo, not wanting to talk about it, or hating it, doesn't erase it from the Quran and Sunnah or whatever. It is there, and it will always be there. So I have three choices, and stay and be miserable, leave, stay and hold myself up and get a grip on reality and the way things are, and practice this deen as was practiced in the past. No exceptions. Like I just mentioned to you now, it is part of our deen, and there's nothing we can do about it. We can't erase it from our deen. We can't erase it from anything. So she might as well accept it, and she's realizing that now. I'm not better than the wives of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I need to get off my high horse. She's saying, yeah. And my husband doesn't do this to me because of me or because of something I said, or it's simply because that is the way Allah made him. Wow. This is the point that I was trying to I've been trying to tell sisters for the for from the time I started doing the show. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that's the way Allah made us. That's the way Allah created man, and there's nothing a woman could do to change that. You see, so a woman would have to accept that. She'd have to accept that, like, she's married to a man and he wants another woman. That's the way Allah created man, and she's beginning to realize now. What more do I need? Allah made him this way. Should I be taking this argument up with Allah, which I would never be so presumptuous to do or think? Then why argue with my husband over the way he was created? I hope sisters start thinking and realize that. Are you going to argue with a man about the way he was created? Man was created weak. You can't argue with the man because he was created weak. That's the way Allah created him. So that's the way Allah created man, to be polygynous. Yeah. And to go and fight with him, to go and break up his family, to go and divorce him. What's the point? That's the way the man was made. Okay. That's the way he was created. Why? Isn't that a waste of my precious time? Isn't it? It's all up to me to change how I personally view and all that it entails. So that's what I'm going to do, inshallah. I don't want the only example of polygyny in people's minds to be bad and something to avoid with a 10-foot pole. Interesting, because some sisters want to avoid it with a barge pole, with a 10-foot pole. Don't want to get near it, And some sisters even hate it. They talk bad about it, try and get other sisters out of it as well. In groups that I'm in, there are sisters that who try their best. They come in and then they make a lot of noise about it. Okay. I don't want to end up sad, depressed, old woman before my time. But I have to realize that if I really don't want that, then I have to put that into effect myself. 90% of my emotional problems are because of what I choose to continue thinking and feeling. Well, I'm done with all this. Enough is enough. This is what the sister is saying, right? This brings us now to section 4 of the book. Necessary reminders. Nasiha, moving on. Okay, so this is a new chapter completely in the book, and I don't want to start it halfway or near the end of the program, because we got about if we're going to go for an hour, we've got about 4:47 mark now, going to the 50 mark. We've got about 10 minutes to go. 10 minutes, 20 minutes to go. So what I'll do is I'll end it here today. I'll finish early. And then next week, we will start on page 241. 240 is called Necessary Reminders, section 4. And then on 241, 239, sorry, is Necessary Reminders. 240 is empty for those who've got the book. And then 241, Nasiha, moving on. So the sisters telling the other sisters now they have to move on. They have to move on from there. And I'm sure there's a lot of advice being given about taqwa, about iman, about sabr and everything, which I can see here now, which is very interesting. So we'll stick to this now. We'll do this next week. And like I said, it seems that we're coming to the end of the book. I need to pull the book from my bookshelf and actually check it and see. We don't have much to go now. now anyway. So, but it's been a beautiful journey. It's been a beautiful trip from this book. I've learned a lot of things. I've learned a lot of psychology as well, and I hope that sisters have learned the psychology of man through this book. That they cannot change how the way Allah has created a man. Yeah, and no matter what you will do, no matter what you will do, and also I hope that sisters have picked up that this is a test that Allah has sent to you, and this test you have to pass it with flying colors. Yeah, men have got their tests as well. Our tests are going to be even harder, because our tests we're going to have to stand in front of Allah and answer it. You won't have to. If you make sabr here in this dunya, you won't have to. We as men, whatever little faults we're going to do, whatever little injustice we're going to do, we're going to have to stand in front of Allah and answer for that. So, for me, this has been a very good, a very important journey, and a very fruitful journey that I've learned a lot from, and I hope you have learned a lot as well. If I have said anything along the way that is wrong, please forgive me. Yeah, I'm just a student of knowledge, and any good that you got from there is from Allah. So we'll finish here today. We'll finish here on the 50-hour mark. And I hope, you can catch up some other time if you're not watching now, if you're not watching live or whatever. And if you're subscribed and you've clicked the bell, you'll get notification or whatever. So I don't keep having to remind and send links and everything. So please subscribe, like, and share. Okay, we'll finish here for today, and we'll see you again next week. Don't forget on Fridays. On Fridays, for me, it's Friday, but maybe for you, you haven't even entered into Friday or whatever. But for British time, 11 o'clock in the morning, it's we've got the tafsir of Juz Amma going on, and I have a scholar with me. She's a PhD in Islamic studies, and we're doing the tafsir of Juz Amma. We've reached Surah Al-Naziyat at the moment. So you'll catch me on Fridays, and you catch me on Saturdays as well. Please subscribe, like, and share, and hit on the bell so it reminds you. So at the same time, you'll be learning the tafsir of Juz Amma, which is very, very interesting. We've started already. We started the Surah Al-Fatiha, and then we went through other, what's the name? It's getting very interesting. So please join us on the Fridays for the tafsir of Juz Amma, and join us on Saturdays for this show as well. So, khalas, so we finish here, and I will see you next week, and we'll start in the new chapter. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Subhana rabbika wa izzati amma yasifun wa salamun alal mursalin walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and I will see you next week, inshallah.